can't be free. Everybody wanna judge, say I'm a thug, I'm a player, I'm a simple, why I can't be me? When I walk up in the store, all the Karens get to staring at me. Put my heart in my music, it's still on my sleeve. Everybody been portrayed.
So fam, what's the word? It's your boy Spiritual Trey, and that is now episode 28 of the Soulful Thoughts blog. And today, this video is all about how to be a spiritual magician. Now, this is mainly for my people, who really deep into spirituality to the point that, you've gotten into astrology. Or, if you just into astrology, period, you might be into this video. But this really for my people, who truly into spirituality and astrology. Some of y'all say y'all so spiritual, man, but on some real shit, in my opinion, I don't know how you can be spiritual and not into astrology. Like, I know some of y'all caught up in some mental cages to where y'all think the government control everything, so y'all be questioning everything about what NASA say and do planet. Y'all probably question, do planets really exist or some crazy shit like that. But y'all gotta realize that planets ain't nothing but bigger versions of what the fuck we are. Bodies of water, you feel me? As above, so below. Just like we spirits and bodies that was made by a system of chakras, planets are spirits, that bigger spirits and with bigger minds and bigger bodies that were made by larger systems of chakras. You feel me? It takes a lot more spirits to come together to make a planetary body than it does the human body. But it's all the same shit happening on different levels of life, different densities of life. You feel me? And just like when you get a lot of humans in the same room, we start influencing each other with our thoughts and feelings and shit. You feel me? You walk into a room, you feel a vibe. That's you feeling other spirits' thoughts and feelings. Whether they resonate with the type of spirit, the frequency that you in or not, is going to determine whether it's a good or bad vibe. But when you walk into a room, you immediately start feeling the influence of the other beings within that room, right? Just like that happens, cosmic beings influence our actions in that same way. There are certain planetary bodies, bodies of water, that are close to our body of water, and their wave is impacting and influencing our wave of consciousness. You feel me? The same way waves of consciousness influence each other when we in our environment. Right. So that's all astrology is. Knowing how each body of water affects us and influences us in each specific way. For example, the sun influences our actions. The moon influences our mood and our reactions. The Mercury influences our thoughts, our intellect, the way that we communicate and shit like that. Venus influences our love matters, our habits and how we conduct our love, how we show love and how we, perceive love. Jupiter influences the way that we learn, you feel me, and the way that we conduct our spirituality and shit like that. Saturn influences the way that we see reality and the way that we make sense out of things, and so on and so on. Each planet influences the way we act, react, or think. It influences us in one area of life in one way or another. Y'all know what I'm saying. But today specifically, I want to talk about the moon. Why do I want to talk about the moon? And why does that relate to being a spiritual magician? Think about it. What really controls this world outside the government? What really controls this world? Moods, right? Whatever mood you in, 9 times out of 10 is going to dictate your actions, especially if you're the type of person whose level of consciousness hasn't reached a certain point. You're going to let your mood dictate all of your actions, and that's 90% of the world. The moon influences our mood. So whatever sign the moon in is a great indicator of what might happen when you go out into the world and place yourself in an environment amongst other people. So when you follow the moon cycles and, follow what sign the moon is in, the cycle of the moon and all that shit, you actually can, instead of being a product within an environment, you can be kind of like an overseer of the environment. Life get fun as hell when y'all do this shit, y'all. Every day I go on, it's plenty of apps that get astrology apps that's decent. You got CoStar, you got Time Passages, It's this other one too that I had just deleted because I was running out of space. But yeah, I mostly fuck with time passages though, and yeah, I'm always checking what sign the moon is in, seeing if it's waxing or waning. And to speak of that, because I know not everybody knows what those terms mean. So I'm sure everybody knows that the moon goes in phases, right? You got the quarter moon, the half moon, 3/4 moon, and the full moon, right? Okay, so we got two transitions of the moon, right? One of the transitions is leading up to a full moon, and the other transition is leading up into a new moon. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone knows what a full moon, that's where we can see the full reflection in the sky, right? We can see the full image of the moon, the full light. You feel me? Now, the new moon, well, first, let's talk about the waning process, the process that's getting to the new moon. So after you get that full moon, what tends to happen? The light slowly but surely over a span over a couple weeks starts to dissipate, right? It goes from a full moon to a 3/4 moon to a half a moon to a quarter moon to a small crescent moon, all the way to a new moon, to the point where now when it's called a solar eclipse. You feel me? These happen every month. And when it happens, it only lasts for like a couple of moments when it does happen. The moon totally blacks out for like a couple moments. You don't, it just blends in with the shadows of the cosmos for a couple moments. And then it comes back in the form of a small crescent moon that lights, comes back. That's why we call it a new moon, you feel me? Because the light comes back. So when it comes back, that's when it starts the waxing process. You feel me? Now, the new moon process does last over 2 days. I'm just talking about in terms of the blackout, that only lasts for a moment. But so right after the new moon, it starts waxing, right? That small crescent starts building up to the quarter moon again, then the half moon, then 3/4, then back to the full moon. So those the processes of the moon. You got the waxing phase, the phase that's leading up to the full moon, and the waning phase, the phase that's leading up into the new moon. Now, for my people that's spiritual and into astrology, I know y'all got y'all certain rituals and spells that y'all do, right? So this video is just like a reminder of when, and because it's always a time and a place for everything, right? So even for rituals and spells, it's always a certain time that you want to align with, specifically the moon. You always want to be in alignment with the motions of the moon, because those currents are what gonna remember, the moon fuels our emotions, and our emotions fuel our ideas, which turn into passions, which then manifest into what we want to see. So if you're trying to manifest an idea, you're trying to muster up as much power, emotion, and as much energy as you can put into it as possible, right? So in terms of manifestation, the moon is the most powerful celestial object, so-called object in the sky. You feel me? Just off the strength that's the one that's encouraging all emotions. So you always want to make sure that, for one, in terms of manifestation rituals, when you're trying to manifest something new, you want to always do those type of rituals on the new moon. You feel me? Just off the strength that it's a new moon, so you're supposed to be giving birth to something new. And then amongst over the phase of waxing, during the waxing phase, you're supposed to be your actions are supposed to align with whatever house the moon is in. For example, let's say the moon is in Leo. We know the house of Leo deals with attention, creativity, giving and receiving attention, creativity, expressing your visions, stuff like that. That's the Leo energy. So if the moon is in Leo and you have an idea that you have gave birth to in the new moon phase, you did your little ritual during the new moon, you gave birth to your new idea, so now it's waxing and it'll went over into Leo. This would be the time that you express this new idea that you're trying to bring out. You draw attention to it. You express your new creativity. Whether it's a social media post, talking about it with like-minded people, or whatever. You bring attention to the idea you're trying to manifest. If it's in Capricorn, that'll be the day that you stay to yourself and really just, work on your shit. Just work on your craft. You feel me? Or you can get a group of people that you are, specifically leading in that turn. Because if it's your idea, you got to be the leader of whatever process or whoever the fuck working with you during that process. So you find your group of people that's helping you get to that goal, and y'all work on it that day just to yourself type shit. If it's in Capricorn, because remember, Capricorn is cardinal. So You got to know the difference between the modalities. That's why I say this video is for people who specifically into astrology, because you got to know what cardinal, fixed, and mutable means, and you got to know what all of these signs, actually the energies that they actually come with, to actually understand this video. If y'all want a refresher, y'all can go watch my videos titled "How Do We Hold Ourselves Back?" because I explained all of the modalities and what the signs do, you feel me? So that's why I'm not doing it in this video. So yeah, back to it. So depending on what modality it's in and what sign it's in, you're gonna know, if you really know about astrology, how to enact on that vision while it's waxing. Now, once it gets to that full moon, if you've been staying in alignment with the moon's currents and doing everything the right way, you should see some type of progress from that vision that you sparked during the new moon. You feel me? You should see some type of progress, whether it's fully manifested or if it's just some small steps. Whatever it's supposed to be, during that full moon, you're supposed to find fulfillment in the process that you're going through at the moment. Like, I'm proud of myself. I'm actually putting my best foot forward. I'm actually going forward. That's the time where you sit back and you're supposed to feel fulfilled. People who don't feel fulfilled on full moon days, these are the people who, they end up meeting catastrophic moments, especially if they go outside and participate with the world. Because if you're sending out unfulfilled energy in any type of way, that opposite current, which is the full moon, is gonna your energy is gonna run into that clash, and in this dimension is gonna cause you to run into some type of bad situation in clash, an opposing situation, and boom, you got you a full moon case scenario where hopefully you don't die, because a lot of people die on full moons, and a lot of people are born on new moons. No bullshit, look that up. But yeah, so once it gets to that full moon, you're supposed to know how to find fulfillment in whatever it is you're going after. Now let's get to the waning process. Once it gets to the waning process, which is when it's dissipating from the full moon and building up into the new moon, that's when you want to be more internal with your actions, because what's going on with the light, the full moon and the light, is going back into the darkness, right? So you want to be in your internal realm, your internal darkness, evaluating your internal lights, meaning and make sure you evaluate them in a way that resonates with whatever modality the moon is in, whatever sign the moon is in. When it's in the waning process, you're supposed to be developing more ideas to add on to whatever vision that you've manifested. Like if it's a business or something that you sparked the idea of that vision on a new moon. Let's say by the time the full moon came, somehow you got that business off the ground. During the waning phase, you want to keep coming up with ideas on how you can sustain that business and on how you can make it better, right? So whatever sign of the moon is in, that's how you want to formulate whatever seed you formulate. Like if it's in Virgo, for example, I'm a Virgo moon, that's why I brought it up. If it's in Virgo, for example, you want to be formulating seeds on how you can get other people to come in and help you with your business or something like that. Because Virgo is mutable earth. Virgo is specialized in working with others to execute plans. So you want to spend days when it's waning in Virgo on coming up with ideas on how you can work better with others or get people to come in and help you work on the business that you've manifested, right? If it's in, let's say it's in Leo or something like that, you want to do something to bring attention. You want to be thinking of more ways that you can get attention to that business, such as more better marketing. You feel me? Like you're supposed to be trying to brainstorming on ways you can market it better. Get it to the public eye a little better if the moon is in Leo. So if it's in Gemini, you want to think about getting it, trying to think of ways where you can help your business relate to the environment a little more. You feel me? Because Geminis are mutable air. They relate to the way other people think and communicate. So you will want to think of ways that your business can relate to people more so in the environment, how other people think, how other people communicate. Like, you get it? This is how you be a spiritual magician with this shit. No matter what phase you in, whether you trying to manifest some type of new goal to go after, or if you got a goal that you've been going after and you just trying to manifest different ideas to make it better, or just to, manifest the desire to actually go after this shit. Because even knowing that you could do some shit like this, I guarantee a lot of y'all who didn't know this probably getting excited to start watching the phases of the moon and try to be in alignment with it a little more. Now I'm gonna make a part 2 to this video where I talk about watching certain, because you guys got to know, you probably already do if you know enough to understand this video, but I got to make sure people know about opposition, squares, sextiles, and conjunctions. So that's gonna really help you, go with the flows of the currents a lot better when you know that because if you're trying to go in the flow of a current that's naturally opposes your natural way of doing things, you have to know that in order to be prepared for the uncomfortable feeling that you're gonna have engaging in that energy. Like for example, if you're a Leo and it's the moon is in Aquarius or something and it's waxing, you might not feel comfortable going the Aquarius route, which is, you might not feel comfortable. Let's say you want to invite people over so everybody else can express themselves and everything or whatever, so you can try to be the light. You might not feel comfortable doing that because as a Leo, you like kind of walking into situations and being the light of the room. You don't necessarily want to correct the situations depending on the type of Leo you are and the other alignments you have. That's just the small examples. But if you know that the moon is in Aquarius and that's opposed to your moon, which is in Leo, you like, okay, so I might feel a little uncomfortable doing this today, but I'm going to make sure I do the right things no matter how uncomfortable I might feel doing them because I know the growth that's going to come from it. You feel me? Because I'm watering my seeds the right way. You feel me? And y'all, and by the way, and for the spells, I know people do spells too. So manifestation rituals, you do those on new moons. If you're trying to manifest, you do that on a new moon. When you're trying to protect, you do your protection spells on full moons. Because you're supposed to, like I say, on full moons, you're supposed to have some fulfillment, right? Some type of progress that you've made from the new moon to the full moon to where you have some type of fulfillment, some type of progress you've made. You want to protect whatever progress you made, whether it's a new car, new house, new business, do your protection spells on that if you're a person that's into doing protection spells, you feel me? But yeah, I'm not going to make this video too long, you feel me? It's your boy Spiritual Trey signing out. I got to get out of here. Remember, you are not your mind. You the spirit that created your mind. But always remember that the human mind is not the only mind in existence, nor is it the most advanced mind in existence. We have larger spirits with larger minds and have created larger bodies. We live in one. It's called a planetary body. So stop being so fixated on your human way of looking at life and know that there are bigger influences in this universe than you and the people in your environment. And if we don't start, being knowledgeable and conscious of what these energies are and what they are doing to us, these energies are going to continue to run our life. For example, the moon. If you continue to unconsciously, subconsciously let your moods control you, moods are up and down. So what's your life going to be? Up and down. You're going to go continuously be on this up and down path because you letting the currents take, instead of you swimming your own way that you want to go through the currents, you going whatever way the current's going. So wherever the currents go is your fate. Spiritual Trey signing out.
Feel no evil, see no evil but peep it. I don't aim for the stars, I want leeches. And a snake spawn, I'ma kill the whole species. Rest in peace to all the peaceful preaching. The youngest wildin', but they say they evil, that's kinda reaching. Who really controlling the way you thinking? Find the truth.